Louis XIV was the French king, who is primarily known for the longest reign in history, the transformation of Versailles, and his, quote, "I am the state." But did you know that he smelled so bad that his official mistress refused to have sex with him and avoided him in every possible way? And this was not the last nasty thing about him. Watch until the end to find out more. The King Louis XIV preferred to be called the Sun King because he believed he was personally sent by God to rule over France, in addition to the luxuries, beauty, and wealth of his life. The Sun King had many peculiarities. Women adored him, and the king adored women. He had a vast number of mistresses, and the exact count of his illegitimate children remains a mystery. Apart from 6 children with his first wife, Maria Theresa, Louis had numerous children with his favorite, Marquise de Montespan, and 4 more with another mistress. The exact number of his offspring with various women whose names are lost to history remains a subject of speculation. Louis XIV personally attended the births and observed the process in detail. During that era, women gave birth sitting on a special birthing chair. This chair resembled an ordinary chair with a hole in the seat. However, the process was poorly visible to Louis, so he ordered that women should give birth lying on their backs. This practice quickly became popular among midwives, and noble ladies wanted to give birth royally. Today, the term Louboutin has become synonymous with the famous red-soled shoes. However, the renowned designer Christian Louboutin was not the inventor of red-soled shoes. The fashion of red-soled footwear was introduced by Louis XIV when, in the 17th century, he issued a decree stating that only courtiers of the king could wear shoes with red heels. Aristocrats of the 17th century mass-produced shoes with red heels. The high heel trend among Europeans also emerged thanks to Louis because he wanted to appear slightly taller. The king's height was only 163 centimeters. Heels provided the monarch with solidity. Legends about Louis XIV's hygiene practices, claiming he was averse to water and only bathed twice in his life, were popular. Many contemporaries wrote that His Majesty had an extremely intrusive and unpleasant odor. Being near the king during meals was torture. Madame de Montespan, the official favorite of the king, became increasingly pious over the years and convinced the king to abstain from physical pleasures under any pretext. The truth is hidden in the king's health journal, where his doctors kept records. Let's take Dr. Dacca, for example. He believed that there was no more dangerous infectious hotspot in the human body than the teeth. Therefore, he decides that leaving a breeding ground for infection in the mouth is simply unacceptable, and all teeth must be extracted. However, Dr. Dacca cannot be called a good dentist. While removing the lower teeth, he managed to break the king's jaw, and in extracting the upper ones, he tore away a significant part of the palate. After some time, the lower jaw healed, but now the palate is partially absent. As a result of such an operation, Louis could not eat normally. Half of the glass of wine he drank would pour back through his nose due to the damaged palate, and food particles would get stuck inside. They had to be removed a week later. Of course, food constantly getting stuck eventually causes an unpleasant odor. Throughout his life, Louis XIV impressed his subjects with an excellent appetite. At the palace banquets, the king consumed pheasants, hares, and partridges, which were slow-cooked for 12 hours until they turned into porridge because the king had nothing to chew with. Vegetables and bread were considered peasant food, and the king was entitled to eat a lot of meat. The king swallowed a vast amount of heavy-to-digest food with his toothless mouth. The result of such a diet was constant indigestion. Modern physicians have no doubt that the king was infected with a tapeworm, which caused his insatiable appetite. However, in those times, doctors had 3 main methods of treatment: enemas, bloodletting, and emetics. In addition to classical methods, a special remedy was made for the king, a laxative consisting of snake powder, frankincense, and horse dung. The laxative worked flawlessly. According to the health journal, the Sun King visited the restroom no less than 14 times a day, which became burdensome for the king. Therefore, a special throne was constructed for him, which served as a toilet chair. The Sun King's health deteriorated after the military campaign of 1685, during which Louis spent almost 6 months in the saddle. A record appeared in the health journal about a repulsive anal abscess. It is difficult to imagine the pain the king endured. The decision was made to undergo surgery. It is worth mentioning that the operation was performed without anesthesia, and the Sun King miraculously survived. After the surgery, the wound was treated with a wine-soaked bandage, and customary bloodletting was done. The king was then taken to church to offer a prayer. After 30 days, the king began to recover, though doctors continued to torment him with enemas and bloodletting. It remains a mystery how Louis XIV lived to the age of 76. Louis XIV died from gangrene that developed in his thigh. According to modern physicians, the cause was atherosclerosis. A weakened and dehydrated body eventually succumbed. The Sun King passed away in his bed, falling just a few days short of his 77th birthday.